pipe in hand, Sholmes looked down at the thick, rolling fog outside our window. I wonder exactly how many mysteries are out there, hidden within this bed of fog, he said. Indeed, a most bizarre incident, born of a curious advertisement. A hellhound's mad gallop through the shadows of a serial murder. An executed man's graveyard resurrection in the dead of night. And a commonplace killing in a small, forgotten room at the edge of town. There is, naturally, always another side to every case, of which most remain ignorant. And it is that other side which compels me to the scene of the crime, Wilson. So quickly now, take your hat and let's be on our way, my dear fellow. For our adventure is not over yet. Come, the game is afoot.
Well, that's one way of starting off your case. 8 days after that earth-shattering trial, and Kazama regained his memory. We were in the foyer of one of the lawyers, London's most luxurious hotel in London, and the Great Waterloo Hotel. Really, even this early? Oh boy! Hey everybody, I'm Chronicles 3 here, and welcome back to the Great Ace Detective Chronicles 2 Resolve. Last time we finished Chapter 3, and now we are starting Chapter 4. That's one way of starting off your case. Professor Makatoba is due to arrive any moment. Yes, I'm so glad we got here in time. His other son hasn't been the same since what happened. I'm not that I'm surprised. Truth about Kazama's father. Did you suppose my father knew? I think so. That he was actually a mass murderer, the professor, you mean? I know what she was thinking. Well, there's a good chance, I'd say. I mean, they did come to London together 16 years ago, didn't they? Yes, that's true. There's still more to it, I have to say. Come to think of it, didn't you say that Professor Makatoba knew about Kazama going missing in Hong Kong as well? That's right, but for some reason he hasn't at the liberty, but wasn't at the liberty to talk to me about it. That probably means he knows it about Kazama showing up here in London with amnesia. That he regained his memory now. And there she is. Oh boy. Oh, father. Miss Alozato, how are you? Wow, Your Honor, you're pretty big over there. Yes, I'm very well, thank you. We're delighted you arrived safe and sound. Oh, Mr. Nardo. Oh, very kind of you to take the trouble to meet us here. Oh, no, not at all. It's my pleasure. We've heard all about your extraordinary exploits here in London. You know the news has crossed the seas. It has? I always look forward to reading the monthly report about the arrival with the timestamp from Britain. Oh, I see. Oh, thank you very much. What's this man? Why did I feel like I've seen this man before? I take it your expression you can't quite place me. In that case, I'll value a little reminder, Cicero. A firm tap should do it. Yes. A firm tap. What? Here we go then. I arrived right now to the inn. Urizaki. Guilty. Oh, you're. The judge. Yep. Alright, well, now, here's that for Your Honor. your, your Excellency. Oh, Judge George, go. Jigato, go. Jigato, I don't know how to pronounce that last name. How are you? It's been a long time. Good, you remember me now. That really does the trick. Guilty. Only I was declared not guilty, wasn't I? And there's no laughing matter at that time. So London again after all this time. Hard to believe it's been 10 years. To be honest, I never thought I'd be back. Neither did I. I didn't imagine Japan would ever be invited to an international synopsis like this. Though really, I doubt anyone, to be honest. Yes, I think that it's all thanks to you, Cicero. You talking about? What are you talking about, Ewan? Of course, Judge Jericho. He must complete the set. He's the other man who 16 years ago came to London with Kazama's father and the professor, Mr. Mikito. He's a third visiting scholar. Well, all those passport checks and luggage search at the border took rather a long time. I must say, I'm very envious of your ministerial status. You didn't have to go through all of that, did you? I knew you were jealous. Sorry, ministerial status. I didn't know. Didn't you know, Cesaro here is also Japanese Minister of Foreign Affairs. Japan's foreign Minister of Foreign Affairs. Oh wow! It was his personal instinct that allowed you to take Kazama's place here on the study tour. Guilty as charged. Oh, well, thank you very much. He's really ever a bit of as important as he looks. Yes, now, in order. I received a telegram from Lord Strongheart yesterday. Oh, you did? It appears that some things came to light in the trial you were involved in 8 days ago. About what happened 10 years ago? That tragedy? Yes, could you tell us a little more about it? So, how was your voyage here? 15 days at sea. A long time by anyone's standards. It wasn't as bad as when we first came 16 years ago. Oh, that's true. I truly wonder if we wouldn't be drifting in the vast ocean for the rest of our lives. This time we followed the same route as you, so we were able to relax and enjoy the experience. So you stopped by France's beautiful capital, Paris. Yes, we did. Though only for one night. And yesterday evening we left Port Dunkirk for Dover. It's the time for the synopsis. In fact, it starts tomorrow. It's wonderful that you were invited to such an important international event. I can't speak well today. I'm very proud of you, Father. And thanks to Cicero here, 16 years ago, he managed to integrate himself with British Attorney General. I'm sure while he was invited, and also I was supposed you could say I'm something of an appendage by default. Speak for yourself, even. You were close friends with the professor, a forensic scientist at a major hospital. Yes, well, I'd rather not try to judge that up, really. No, there's been a lot of water on the bridge since then, but it doesn't bring him back. That's on his father, I suppose. That incident? The professor, the killer who took the lives of 5 members of the British aristocracy, was actually Kazama's father, wasn't he? That's correct. Jensen Azagi. Genshin. You knew, I presume, father? Yes, he was a close friend at the time. Genshin came to Britain as a police detective. He was studying investigation techniques at Scotland Yard. I never understood what drove the man to commit such heinous acts. It was a closed trial, so the public never knew the truth, and he was executed with little ado. To this day, the very people know what really happened, even in our homeland. What about Kazama? Did he know? Did he know the truth about his father? No, of course not. He was told his father passed from sickness. However, I suspect he may have had his doubts. Oh, why? As you know, I tried to guide Kazama growing up as if he was my own son. Then one day, he came to my office at the university and said, I decided I wanted to travel right and study there. Oh boy. Do you think he wanted to come here to investigate his father's death? I don't know. But when I looked into his eyes, I did know that there was no way I was able to stop him. Something else came to light in that trial the other day too, actually. Oh, what? Well, having disappeared in Hong Kong and been missing for almost a year, Kazama since turned up here in London, working as an apprentice of large body light. What? That's news to us. So, Lord Strongheart's telegram neglected to mention that part then. As you know, we both brought Kazama. Kazama died on that steamship during our voyage through Great Britain and Germany. Anyway. But he didn't die. He's alive. As you know, didn't you, Father? Absolute fact, no. What I did know is that when your ship docked in Hong Kong, he mysteriously vanished. We sent a team of investigators to Hong Kong to try to ascertain what happened, but no avail. But he's still alive, here in London, you say. I never dared even dreamt of it. Why on earth did the young man not make contact? The government and the police have been chasing clues fruitlessly for months. Well, it seems like he was suffering from amnesia. What? Amnesia? When we first came across him again here in London, he didn't know who either of us were. I see. He only regained his memory 8 days ago. That's unbelievable. Yes, it's quite miraculous. I wonder why Strongheart didn't let us know. I must speak with him urgently. I wonder if how Kazama's been these last few days. Would it be wrong for us to go visit him? Your time in Britain. That began 16 years ago now. It's a distant memory, really. It was Union here. Genshin Azaki and myself, we were the original 3. The first 2 additional scholars from Japan to travel across overseas to study. Our ocean voyages were not what they are today, I can tell you. 16 years ago, the things were tough for their generations. Your father was an exceptional fine medical student at Yami University. At the time, you know, young lady. Yes, grandmother told me. He went to do research at the London hospital to study autopsy, practically unheard in Japan. Yes, it was an eerie place sandwiched between the back of a prison and a burial ground. Not more talk of graves. Very often, there's no one willing to deal with bodies following autopsy work. So you see, autopsy labs have something of an unavoidable relationship with graveyards and prisons. Of course, not my cup of tea at all. Do you remember the Scotland prison governor? Caden, what's his name, was it? He was a good man. Yes, but of course, in our 16 years here, everything changed with that dreadful case. When Genshin was arrested for a series of most gruesome murders. I simply cannot believe it. I've known the man for years. I was a witness in the secret hearing. I tried to speak for the defense, but you were a little too far and ended up facing charges yourself, didn't you? Well, suffice to say, that trial, we were sent back to Japan. There was nothing more we could do to save Genshin. He was a lost cause, sadly. Oh boy. Where already started this case I've ever gotten this. Well, if you'll excuse me now. Yes, I'd like to get to the trunk in my room. As soon as possible. Oh, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have held you up here so long. I'll call a fire porter then. Just wait here. His other son's gone off on a run. I'd like to stay and talk more, but I have various preparations to make for them. Yes, of course, must be a big responsibility to representing our entire country. I wish you best of luck. Naruto? Oh, I hope you'll keep an eye on Susato for me. Keep looking after her as you obviously have been. Oh no, I mean, if there's anyone looking after her, it's her looking after me. Well, I appreciate you being there for her after all. I've been a miserable father to her. I've thoroughly let her down. Sorry? What do you mean? Well, it was 16 years ago I started my study tour here in Britain, as you know. Then the very year Susato was born. Yes, I heard. The birth of a man's daughter was the most joyous event of my life, but well, sadly, it was accompanied by the most tragic event in my life too. Oh yes, Susato hinted something like that. It was rather a turbulent time at home. Anyway, I won't bore you with the details. Oh no, really? The point is, I became less dependent than befits a grown man. And it's when Cesaro offered me the opportunity to stay here in Japan, here in Britain. I was worried about you to leave you. I was worried about you to leave you behind. So I prepared a little heavy-handed when it came to persuading you to accompany me to London. Oh, that's what happens in a nutshell. And it's also the reason why I feel compelled to give my daughter as many opportunities as I dare. Though the world does not readily afford young women such things, as much say. I completely understand, Professor. One other thing, Mr. Naruto. If I may be so bold, I have a favor to ask you. Oh, really? Of course. What can I do for you? Well, the thing is, oh, that was quick. I'm please, Warner. Oh, of course, sir. The machine around your neck. That is a camera, I believe. Oh, quite, sir. Just 5 shillings. A lovely photograph to commemorate the hotel stay here, sir. Well, I think I give an occasion. We should justify the expense. Ah, yes, of course. Ah, I get it. I'd like to say thank you for coming with me, Mr. Nardo. It really made my father happy, I think. Oh, well, I'm pleased then. But we were interrupted before. Professor Megatova was about to speak to me about something. Shall we return to Baker Street then? I expect Iris will have some delicious tea waiting for us. Yes, let's go. I'm getting more and more anxious about Kazama, though. Perhaps I'll try to meet with Longstornhard later and ask him. Oi. What was that? A man was screaming. In an almost unflattering way. You think, could it have been Mr. Solms? Oh my, I hope it don't. I don't want it anymore. Do it anymore. Mon am I? Stop the disgraceful display, huh? Who are these people? Look at their hair, it's bright red. I think they must be clients of Mr. Solms. Oh, hey, Gina. You right, you two? You're coming with me. You're down to the brink. Oh, not the prison. It's dark. Damn, and I don't like it. One off the door, darkness. It's my friend. It is my friend. I'm not scared. Okay, I really am not good when it comes to, French. I'm sorry, guys. But you are always scared of the dark. Sure, I'll be idiot. I was quite, sit quietly in the dark, and plan the next day. That's it. I don't like this. I don't like it. Well though, I'm finished with you with this down to the heart and the movement. Alright then, Genie. Have fun. Oh yeah, thanks Iris. And thanks. Okay, good detective. Gotta love her. Gina makes a fine detective herself, doesn't she not? Oh, Susie, and Bruno. Hello Iris, we are home. Oh, did you find your daddy? Yes, we arrived at the hotel just before he and his friend. Oh, well, that's great news. I'll get to see my daddy again soon. Yes, of course. There's John H. Wilson. Oh, Iris. All that remains is now is the greatest problem known to man. Huh? It's hair. Oh, I think I know what happened. Why those two are in jail. I'll be right back. And back. Oh boy. I think we found out the mystery why those two are getting arrested. My God, Mr. Sholmes, your hair. They don't need it. No words could describe. Is something wrong, Mr. Naruto? I have a comb such like on your face. Not so much on your face as your head, I'd say. Come along, everyone. I brewed a lovely special blend for tea time. Whatever is going on here today. In that case, let's sit down right now. I am in fact expecting guests later today. Look at it. This blackboard was where our scribbler's latest idea. Let's see here. Oh, she seems to have drawn a lot of stick figures all lined up. Look. Cheap apples at the market is what they'll all say. What? The little figures can speak? All your questions would be answered if you would read the month's rank magazine. So I'm the only one who can't make sense of this. Your two visitors. Mr. Sholmes, who were the two gentlemen that were here before? Oh, just a pair of petty criminals, nothing of significance. Of course, they have to make a living somehow. And when the mood takes me, I'm willing to turn a blind eye to all manners of infractions. When the mood takes you, of all manner of interactions. But when such fellows set their sights on Mr. Sherlock Holmes, well, that's when they're lucky. Oh my, you were trapped in a target of a crime, Mr. Holmes. By quite previous plan to trap them and deliver them to the young Detective Valley. You should have asked Rexy sometime too. We should have had a arresting tea party. I did send a word, but no answer was forthcoming. Of course. The man assumedly is in the wrong place at the wrong time. There's a word for it, I'm sure. Oh, I have it. Burglar. A burglar, that's the word. It's a good job he is not here to hear that, see say that. So the red-headed Reds have been up to no good. I wonder if what the men did. The greatest problems. Oh, what was about the greatest problems known to man you mentioned before? Is it another fiendishly intricate case? How should I explain it? You are aware of a little theory of evolution by the matter of selection, perhaps? Well, I think we've heard talk about this somewhere, possibly. It's a revolutionary scientific theory that was newly proposed 40 years ago now. According to this author, Mr. Darwin, we humans were once apes who lived in the treetops. Right, what? We were apes. Indeed, and here where most of those apes descended on canopy and delivered as humans. It's been our lot to be at the mercy of the greatest problem known to man. Our lot. What is this great problem, Mr. Jones? It's not obvious, my dear Manel. The problem of right. Oh, of course. What? Did you not receive a rather large sum of money from Matter Trash Bells just the other day? Large sum. One pot of herb for Iris and a new motor car from me later, and it's all quite disappeared. You did not need to get that. Honestly, Hurley, you knew you squandered it. That's all anyway. 2 days ago, I discovered the answer to man's greatest problem for coming this the month late, at least. What's that answer? Why? There's a substantial clue before your very eye. Don't tell me, you let us see. Your humans are sorry creatures unable to see what is in front of their noses. Let me give you some assistance. Don't look, but observe very closely. There is one particular feature about my person that has changed. You should notice in the end, I should think. It's your hair. In the end. By stabbing me in both eyes right in front of me, in the beginning of the conversation. I think we might need another clue to go over the answers or something. Any sort of hint. I'd be tearing my hair out of this frogs goes along. Isn't it about time you told us the truth? Over a week, you said to us, I tell you something, the first importance of my dear fellow. The great detectives won't lie to. I will serve the ball, remember that. That case of Bard, the SS Bruria. Cosmo wasn't killed, and you knew he wasn't dead at that time. What really was going on? The fellow was unconscious for a very long time. If he hadn't regained consciousness when he died, his life would have been in mortal peril. Of course, the side effects of a prolonged comatose state was amnesia, as you well know. It was a simple enough task to silence the crew. But how? After they carried him out of the cabin, I assembled them in the lobby area. Then I made them answer to leave him unconscious and have him unlaid from the ship Hong Kong as a mortar corpse. Why did you do that? Oh, how horrible. It was necessary to find some material to which to persuade the crewmen to keep their word. But why? Why do it in the first place? It will be delivered, elaborate, due course. Nurse. But for the time being, I would reassure you. I didn't foresee the subsequent event. I didn't foresee subsequent events. What events? His disappearance in Hong Kong. Oh! I believe I may have made a gross error of judgment. Mr. Solmes. Nothing else to talk about? Is there anything else I need to look at? Hello? There, Master Kazama War. Was the Lord? His parents. And he cast it aside after a trial the other. I just sort of picked it up. We ought to give him back to him, I suppose. But he has his memory back now, doesn't he? I can't help feeling he might turn around and tell me coldly to wear it myself. He's your best friend. Hello. Look at this last weekend's edition. What article? I'll circle on Reddit now. The advertisement column, it says the Redheaded League to the Redheaded League. The Redheaded League. What was that? What's that? I don't know. I never heard of it before, but is there something already? Clearly has something to do with that. His label here. Yep, and let's go ahead and also look at that too before we do anything. It looks as though someone circled the advertisement in this paper, Mr. Solomon. To the Red-Headed League. That strikes you? Does that strike you in some way? I was thinking maybe it might be related to your bright red hair. So, at least you learned to apply any method, Mr. Naruto. Sorry. For instance, it's quite an indispensable observation. Believe me, I could have seen that hair with my own eyes. And so then, allow me to relegate with you my details of my latest exploits. Regale or boast? Or both? How about both? Knowing I'm Red-Headed League. So, what is the Red-Headed League, which seems to be the subject of the advertisement you circled? You noticed the paper then. That, my dear fellow, was going to be the source of this month's payment. It was? How? According to the advertisement, the Red-Headed League was distinguished as an institution of fellows unspecified governance. In fact, the only condition of becoming a member is having red hair. That doesn't entirely surprise me. But listen to what the lucky redheads receive once they join. Unconditional salary of £4 a week. Oh my, £4 a week? Well, why? Why were they paying you for paying people like that? That I don't know. No details are given in the advertisement. Well, surely even every redhead person in the country would be flocked to join in that case. You're right, Susie. There's no time to lose, but I put in my application at once. You're not a redhead! So well, I just pull off the chain. That might be stretching a point, I think. The fellows have a fixed number of members, you see. Oh, I see. So once a certain number of people join, no one else can. Luck as to have it, one member recently passed away. It wasn't particularly lucky for the redhead in question, I feel, Mr. Jones. So you decided to try to join his place. Correct, I mean, look at me. Have you ever seen a redheaded fellow? It's more brown than red, to be honest. Oh no, so why? Why did it have to go so wrong? What on earth happened? I blunder, Mr. Naruto. Though it pains me to admit. Yeah, it's those two. Your blender. What did you actually do to your hair, Mr. Solms? Isn't it obvious, folks? I'm glad you asked, Mrs. Otto. As you see on the top of my head, neither is playing nor either dyed or hairpiece. I changed the color of my own hair overnight by the wonders of chemistry. Yeah, that was pretty much a figure moment. Chemistry. I was conducting some research into a method of rejuvenating split tea leaves. And of course, my work stumbled upon a potion which, taken to determine one's hair flame like red. I wouldn't say flame like. Would you like to try? If I can make your hair your body perfectly crimson, I think I'll pass. Thank you. But Mr. Solms, is it quite safe to drink? Surely it's bad for you, isn't it? Amateurs are always hampered to be by such. Oh, I should never doubt you, Mr. Solms. You mean to say? Well, of course. Turn a foreign palace weight. One must prepare. Turn a blind eye to a danger. That degree of red signals more just a little dangerous, surely. So anyway, Hurley's left full confidence yesterday with a new hair. Where the park lines the street, where the redheaded league were interviewing prospect new members. So what went wrong? The whole park was choked with redheaded folk like the Coaster Orange Borrow. Coaster Orange Borrow. Ouch. I queued 8 hours solid, but before at last I reached the front. But that's when the panel interviewed me saw me and immediately said, Mr. Rolex Holmes, are you in disguise to conduct an investigation? Oof. That's the problem being famous. So naturally, I had no choice but to reply. Shh, don't give me away. Ugh. I wish I couldn't do anything else but turn and leave. Then this morning when I looked to the mirror, meditation started. So I turned to that parrot to the police. Oh dear, what a disaster. Hurley and those two redheads. So they just did it because they pointed you out poorly. So Mr. Solms, you mentioned before that you were expecting a guest today? Indeed, Mrs. Otto, that's correct. Not other than the red-headed gentlemen that were here before. Not at all. They were petty villains. The guest I'm expecting is a client. Oh? A young gentlewoman who wishes to point the service as a great detective, no less. Oh, how wonderful, Mr. Solms. You must stay and observe the fashion of which the great detective receives his customer. Must we have you in the closest of rent? My closest friend, that's absolutely happening, you know. Let's not have you in the clutches of the redhead. That's Hartley laughed, masking rather sinister thoughts, I feel. You know, the lady isn't due to another hour. Don't feel as though you must have around other things, though. Oh. I think I have to do it. I think I have to do this for a trophy. Let's be here. Look, this Mr. Nardo is not as bad as I think you well know. It's a shuttle. I didn't take long to reignite that all over it. I have an idea. Let's give the implement names like the Professor Hairbrain did name this tool. Oh, I never thought of doing it. For now on, let's call it radio ski. Oof! That's a little bit much more since auto. The old argument has taken a new unexpected turn, is he? I had to do that for the trophy, guys. Let's head back here. British support. Here is the final draft of the opening address of tomorrow's proceedings. I submit your original with the figures you asked for from the yard. I see. Excellent work. Thank you. You are welcome, my lord. What's Lord Von Sykes doing here? There seems to be a lot of tension in the air. What'd you say? This place still stifling air, stifling in it as is. We really don't need to do any more attention. My apologies. I didn't notice you came in. Your small stature and dark dress makes you all invisible. Oh no. It's entirely my fault. Wearing black on. Oh no, we must start with my head to toe, whatever we come here. Oh then, Mr. Noda? Yes, mother? I'm right here. Awkward. Tell me now, is something wrong? Perhaps it's a little hot in here for you? Oh no, not at all. I mean, I never experienced a room plus perfect temperature. If you're sure, then the veins of sweet carving their way down your face, that's otherwise. Because of the daggers you're staring at me with, mainly. As you are no doubt aware, my international forensic science symposium begins tomorrow. In fact, your father arrived in London earlier today, I hear, madame. Oh, yes, that's right, Marzine. He's extremely honored to have been invited. I'll leave the remaining preparations for the meeting room in your capable hands, Lord Fry's. I will attend at once. Something about that, Snow. He gave you a cold stare as he left, didn't he? I know, but I haven't done anything, have I? These past few days, my feels have barely touched the ground. Feet have barely touched the ground. My dedicated right hand may have years was recently put out of action in spectacular fashion. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Is your left hand still in the device? Oh, the left hand. Oh, no, he's talking about Dr. Stice. Oh, yes. I'm terribly sorry about that. I was just, You're not. You done nothing wrong. Dr. Stice, what? Dr. Fitz on own wrongdoing participated the situation. You didn't need to concern yourself with any further. It'd be a lot easier if it weren't for the piercing stare you gave me. Sorry if I say is doing an admirable job of hiding the fort. Well, in the fort. Though disturbingly, his apprentice have been missing since. Oh, missing. Oh, that's a big kamikaze, my son now. Not long ago, visitor numbers to the great exhibition exceed 30 million. 30 million? Are there even many of that people in the world? You'd be surprised nowadays. As a comparison, Mr. Naruto, the population of the imperial capital Tokyo is 2 million. Point taken. I will be opening the International Forensic Symposium in the exhibition main at the auditorium. This event has been 2 years in the making, 2 years of preparation and negotiations with other countries. That was like tedious achievement. Congratulations. 20th century will be a wholesale adaptation of forensic science investigation techniques. A cooperation between policing and organizations around the globe will be essential. Which is why the landmark of First Nuptium have been hosted here at the heart of the Great Britain Empire. In order that Scotland Yard became the leading investigative organization of the world. Jesus' steam is over. I see. That passion of his quite something. You're every bit as passionate as you always, I'm sure, Mr. Naruto. I am the only person in this country who truly cares about the future of racist science. It was my intention to become Her Majesty's attorney. So the disgrace of the forensic team has been a bitter blow to my ambitions. The forensic investigation team. What happened last case? I first established the forensic investigation team a year ago, experimentally to start with. With Dr. Scythe at the helm, it was steadily accruing impressive records of achievement. It was on the verge of changing the name of elevating status to full-blown forensic investigation department. And you cannot do that now. And you not do that now? Obviously, nobody wants to hear anything about it at the moment. I can't keep the story out of the paper. 6 million youngsters will be cursing forensic science now. This incident will be a setback our country's achievement in the field by a great 10 years, I say. Unintended repercussions of our trial. We simply couldn't overlook what happened, though. Of course not. We should be grateful to both of you. To you both. Anyway, I still reformed the country's policing when I became Attorney General. This might delay my plans. It won't alter them, though nothing will stand in my way. Kazama. Lord Versailles apprentice. Ah, yes, the game has impressed me. That you heard you and he are old friends. How did he become an apprentice of Lord Versailles in the first place? It came about 3 months ago. An unidentified Asian man was apprehended by the border police. They found him hiding in a large goods vessel. Oh my, he was stowed away then. He stowed away to get here. He had no papers out of him, no passport. He was suffering from amnesia too. On the other hand, he's clearly of Eastern descent. There were no clue as to who he was. I decided to sign him to Lord Versailles' sakes. That way I could keep an eye on him. But then, why the mask? I didn't want to burden Lord Versailles with a tiresome explanation to why he had Eastern appearance. Because it was so much easier to explain why he's wearing a mask. He's proving the great help to Lord Versailles. I have high hopes of his future. By the way, do you know where he's gone? No idea. I believe he's left London for a time being. No. I think it's also you didn't know that the man's father was one of the country's most infamous criminals. Yeah. Yes, I saw it. Yeah, we found about that. What we learned from the trial 8 days ago was a huge shock. Finding out our friend's father was. Oh yes, Genshin Asagi. The Professor case 10 years ago caused a great stir here in Great Britain. They were successful murderers on its precedented, and using a furious dog as a murder weapon? And no one would have believed the culprit as a forensic student would have invited to study the government about it. So the true identity of the killer could not be made public, and couldn't be made public now. Nobody in your country knew of what was him, neither did the citizens of London. The man's motivation was to avoid aggravation relations between the two nations at the time, I understand. Correct. However, it has been noted that there were some supporters of the professor's apparent cause. What? Supporters of mass murder? The majority of the man's victims were a blight of the country's on the atrocity of the day. Somewhat ironic, their deaths actually benefited society as a whole. That I did not expect. Or so few thinkers believed anyway. Right, I see. But it was still a murderer, wasn't it? It seems very similar, doesn't it? To lead the Reaper, to the idea of the Reaper, the bear. Of course. Here's my guess now. My latest client was my expense. Oh, I hope it is like he's already. IRS ripped by the latest problem known to man. I must really accomplish that my case. I'll save a local one of my words. I don't spare anyone's feeling with you. Oh dear, I'm afraid Hurley can lack a little fact, especially just before the interview. Mr. Jones, please, oh please. Please find my husband, he ran away. Oh boy. What's the matter? I apologize. What exactly are you trying to say? I say a word. Oh, my dear madam, be seated. Iris, some tea, please. Oh, of course. Something about that is, something about her does feel off. What's the matter, Mrs. Otto? Oh, it's just that gentlewoman. I feel as though I've seen her somewhere before. Very recently. Yes, now you come to mention it. I explained earlier, my name is Ebby Vigil. Care of this case, sir. Money is no object, just a simple name your figure. Money, well, the consequences of me, madam. Ringing off for the case, and where's the word enough? Oh, so your picture is below us. I will, of course, make a mental note of offered power, or continue the reason. I trust you remember your source, so. If I may require, sir. This gentleman, the one that you could be. Oh, me. I was about to tell you I should like to communicate the strictest confidence, you say. These are my friends. I assure you, may say before the pair of enough of much say to me. I see. I can vouch for the gentleman personally, after all. He's hard of hearing. There we go. I hope so. Forgive me for asking, Miss Virgil, but have we met somewhere before? Quite recently, perhaps? Oh my! Yes. Arabella, what's your attention? Really have no ability to difference the facial features there, man. I wish to invite you lady to tea for most standard function. Is it possible that you were the nice young lawyer from the trial I attended last week? Yep, that she was juror number 4. Number 2. I knew I recognized her. Juror number 2. To have a man's fate in the palm of one's hands. Oh gosh, golly, I should send shimmer down my spine. I didn't quite recognize her because she's acting differently now. In fact, it must be very difficult as a lawyer being hard of hearing. Pardon. Oh dear, I'm sorry. Don't worry, I can't hear it. Well, look what you started, Mr. Sholmes. Thank you very much. I believe I have portrayed you stuck quietly in the corner. Yes. Mr. Virgil, tell us about your husband, madam. Mr. Virgil, my daily, he is 40 years of age. I have a forgot of here. An entirely remarkable gentleman by appearance. Like, does he look familiar earlier? How long have you been married? It's been 15 years this year. We accordingly relationship, and my husband's income is more adequate, so we live quite comfortably. As it would appear, I need to only look at you to know these things. Oh gosh. Your dress is a lady's style. Your hat is regularly groomed, and your eyes are animated. In short, you have no inkling to say your husband might have disappeared, correct? That's right. He's a kind man with a strong sense of loyalty. He dots to me. Which is the point of possibility that he's become embroiled in some sort of incident or something. Oh, that's exactly what I feared might must happen, Mr. Sholmes. I'm quite beside myself. Husband's employment is somewhat unusual, you see. What if he's incurred something miscreant? I will. What exactly is your husband's line of work? He's a warder at the prison. He's a warder. He's a warden? Really? A guard. That's something unusual. He's a prison warder. Wow. So, your husband's a prison warder. That's right, yes. Well, actually, in fact, he's the chief warder. The chief? Indeed. I see. Well, chief prison warder certainly qualifies as something specific of a specialist occupation. Yes, indeed. It does indeed. My poor husband must be prepared to dreadful punishments and see that they're carried out. Dreadful punishment. Does she need capital punishment? And at such times, he must occasionally spend a night or two in prison dormitory. But for extra responsibility, nominated, enhancedly that otherwise. Of course, we make no mention of my husband's work to the neighbors. Yes, I believe your prudence is justified. Tell me, what prison is your husband engaged? Base Barclay Prison, of course. Barclay? Really? Barclay? Oh, fine establishment. If I'm not mistaken, there's a large cemetery just behind it. Yes, that's correct. Hellgate Cemetery. Oh, no. Wait, 15 years ago. Hold on. Hellgate Cemetery. The very place we discussed before. That's unbelievable. Unbelievable, my dear fellow. And undeniable. Sorry, Mr. Jones? I'm afraid you lost me. Pay no heed, madame. Pay no heed. A private matter. That can't really be a coincidence. Now I understand why she was chosen as for jury number 4 too. Your husband's disappearance. So, to the matter of your husband's disappearance, when did he really went missing? Please try not to laugh. It was yesterday. Sorry? Yesterday? That's really recent. I laugh a little. The truth is, my husband does times occasionally spend the night away from his work. It's not all ordinary for him to return home, but this is different. For him not to make any contact the whole day, that certainly never happened before. Oh dear, daily, whatever could have happened. My dear Marshall, please calm yourself. Now then, have you contacted the police? Why, naturally, but sadly, they refused to listen to my pleas as my husband's only missing for a day. I was asked to wait patiently at home. And the truth, Mr. Virgil, I concur. Miss Virgil, I concur with the police. However, let's not be hasty. I see no reason why we shouldn't engage my deductive powers to track your husband's down anyway. Oh, thank you, Mr. Jones. Let me show you. Cheers to solve the greatest man after a month is now bearing my decision. I want to see to put a sweet smile on another Londoner's face. That's really there is. Thank you, my eternal gratitude. I shall pay you, Lord Solomon, I mentioned. You seek only to put the sweets rent on the landlady in your landlady's purse. That is all there is to it. Thank you for everything you share with us, Miss Virgil. I believe I have information to begin with the investigation. Oh, please report me soon. It was great news, sir. Fear not, madame. In a day or two, I shall be conducting you with you her certainly before I'm quite sure. Soon, oh, how splendid it sounds. Good news should be delivered early, I always say. If it would be so kind to leave the photograph of your husband behind for possession. Thank you. Now, allow me to show you the door. I can't take in that, Mr. Holmes. And even you, Mr. Marvelous. Well, that happened. You know, I think every time Hurley. But how do you come up with such nonsense? Good news in a day or two? Are you sure? I can't be sure, of course. But then I didn't swear to it on it. I merely gave the woman some hope. I hoped to be able to give her her news on one day, I might say. After all, the rent is to be paid at the end of tomorrow. By the time I successfully locate Mr. Virgil, we shall mutter in mutually relief. Would you agree, Mr. Nono? Don't look at me with those pleading eyes. Well, my dear fellow, did you hear the details of the case? Yes, hearing is surprisingly good, actually. Excellent. What would you make of it? Well, I was surprised to learn her husband worked at Barclay Prison, I mean. So you noted that. Of course, especially with the mention of the Lowgate Cemetery. And 15 years ago. Barclay Prison is where that notorious man was incarcerated. The professor. And now a warden from the prison has mysteriously disappeared, it would seem. It's all very peculiar. Indeed. But nothing you can't handle, I'm quite certain, Mr. Nardo. Sorry. Run along to the prison and see if you can glean what you could. It's the prison governor you want. And no doubt the man's poorly worried. But aren't you going yourself? Surely you needn't ask. I can't possibly be seen out at this hair. You went out not long ago, sir. You have a hat, you know. But then you get the line straight with the hair. Oh, that was quite a different matter. So I'll leave it in capable hands. If you excuse me, I'd be rather busy. And off he goes. Of course you are. Prison governor office. Berkeley Prison is on the outskirts of London, backing in onto the lonely burial ground. Its four high outer walls loomed quietly before us in the fog. Having requested a meeting, we were shown to the governor's office at the watchtower. Oh, this place is full of hardened criminals. I can even remember the last time a civilian was doomed here. And you're denied. You want to talk to an inmate but me? Wow, he's big. Do you know who I am? I'm Governor Barley Caden. Oh, yes. With pleasure, an investigative defense lawyer. And an Easterner, I see. Does that mean? Yes, I'm visiting student law from the Eastern part of Japan. Japan? Do you say Japan? Yes. Well, there's no any way to kind... Here, lady. Hey, you should try it. I'm not saying his words. I think it's because of the professor's case. I think so too. 10 years ago, Kietsu Sagi, also known as the professor, was incarcerated at this prison. And then he was executed, having to re-emerge from his grave in December 9th. I might have known. No, not at all. We're going. Clearly, the ghost of that killer still haunts us way. We're going to get anywhere. Unless we somehow prove this man that there's nothing special. Governor Cowden? What are you talking about, Mr. Zahn? I'm sure the name came up in the conversation recently somewhere. I wonder if it mentioned him, we mentioned him might have some idea to help us. Come to think of it, I have seen the same feeling. That's the professor. Yes, he's not here relaxing himself. He's taking himself to pay respect to all the legal bigwigs. Having only arrived in the country today, goodness, he's full of energy. Professor, you mentioned something before, but you heard Governor Barclay Preston. Oh, Governor Gaiden. So this is Damien. Father, you may speak with the governor. He refused to talk to us. He said we're suspected. Oh, I'm sure I accompany you. It would be a very oh, would you? That would be wonderful. I have time now. Sadly, as you can see, I'm very busy. Busy drinking coffee and doubles. No. I'd rather allow to prepare for tomorrow now. Oh, sorry. I didn't say it out loud, did I? You Makatomas are alarmingly good at reading people's thoughts. Or could it be that you're alarmingly bad at hiding your thoughts? Let's not fall out now. I have an idea. What's he writing on a piece of paper? Here's a letter of introduction. Hopefully when he reads his name, sees my name, he'll change his tune. Thank you. Good luck then. Of course. I don't know if I would give him a Russian accent just the way he looks. He does look like Gregor from Fire Emblem Awakening, but golly, this guy's huge. Just in case your eyes over this, Mr. Governor. What's this? And full of woman eyes, a good village. Make it Tova. That young jock from the forensics laboratory? Did I make it there? Yes, exactly. Him. Oh dear, perhaps I should have said something sooner. I'm Eugene Mikatova's daughter, Cesaro. What? James? You're the young man's daughter. I did not mention that before. You tried! I do apologize. I'd best take a seat then. I can offer you a cup of tea, perhaps. Dang the death. Forget what the handcuffs and biscuits. Mars and Force has nothing sorts of amazing. I better regretting not announcing who I was from about set now. Oh man, what you came to do? Well, we're currently investigating a case. And when your wonders, yes, you see he's gone missing. He's right, it's surely been reported to you as well, President Governor. Have not heard nothing of sorts. No missing person in my prison. Oh, how can that be? Is there daily Virgil! That's right. His wife came to us asking us to investigate us. Skipped the part about him going missing yesterday for now. Oh, clearly that means something wrong. Would you so kind to tell us what happened? You know, sir? Hi, of course. You understand that Virgil's the chief warden here at the police? The resident? He was. Strong sense of responsibility and dedicated to his job, no doubt about it. He's a fine warden. Sorry, did you say was? He doesn't not work here no more. He left the job. Really? Oh my. When exactly was it? There's the question. When it was about. I cannot have been less than 10 years now. Wait! He's been no longer a warden for 10 years? What? 10 years ago. He stopped working here 10 years ago? How did he get his money? You mean have not heard the fellow's name in all that time? I'm so worried he's gone missing now. Miss Virgil not mentioned it. I think perhaps, Mr. Naruto, that his wife simply does not know. I think she's unaware that he's no longer works here. Governor Arcane, and could you tell us about what happened? Why did Mr. Virgil give up his job here? That's important, is it? Yes, I believe it may be. What are you thinking about, Mr. Nardo? I kind of wonder, given that this was 10 years ago. Which was exactly when the professor is being held at the prison. It is, isn't it? So, Mr. Virgil was resigned here at the prison 10 years ago, you're telling us. What happened to make him leave the job? It's that incident. It has the actual fact he did leave. God willing, he had no choice in the matter. You mean he was dismissed? It was after a particular walk. Sorry, a walk. It was that word in the foot for it in the walk to the gallows. An execution. Oh! It's the job of the chief warder to prepare the gallows tree, to oversee any executions you see. Only Virgil did something unthinkable that on the last walk he was meaning. What did he do? I'm sorry, but I can't reveal that information. But I can sort of tell you that it's very rare for a chief wanderer to be relieved of his post. Why would Mr. Virgil know about it? She appeared to be under the impression her husband still works here. I wouldn't know anything about that, I'd be afraid. Can you perhaps name one question about the circumstances about the missing? And what would that be? At last execution, Mr. Virgil was responsible for overseeing. Was it, by any chance, the professors? My thoughts exactly. I'm sorry, I really am. I'm not at liberty to answer that. I see. Mr. Macadoa. My father came to Britain all those years in order to study forensic medicine? But you seem to have been well acquainted. The prison cemetery have a lot to do with another. After all, they need a fresh corpse forensics research. Do you know that, kid? Yes, I can imagine. And advancements of medical science isn't always particularly palatable. Your father worked in the laboratory just on the far side of the government graveyard, in the basement of Dr. St. Steiner's. It's still in use today. St. Steiner, that came over before. St. Steiner, I'm sure. Yes, that's right. You're right. We've been there. Nakatoba and I used to ride in the carriage together in negotiated terms. For more fresh material, I suppose. And we still here in 4 hours to grab on the destination and all sorts. Oh, it takes me back. Over a pot of tea and a cup biscuit, of course. How charming. He was a good fellow, your father. Reliable and dead set on his work. I'm afraid I never understand because of Gint, I suppose. I figured as much. Thank you. Well, I gotta tell you anything else. Thank you. We're time, Governor. Oh, a moment before you have a weigh-in. I'm sure I have it here somewhere. Ah, found it. Here, take this as a souvenir with you your visit to... What is it? This is Virgil's special notice. 10 years old now, of course. Oh my, are you sure? Hi, it's no trouble at all. It's not the original mind. Harsh reprimand incurred 10 years ago as a result of him losing his job. Chief Justice, I gotta look at that. Thank you very much, Governor. In return. Do me a favor and never come back here. This case is closed. That case is closed. Of course. Alright, let's look at that thing. Marshall relieved of his post with the immediate effect of having violated the clause of 1, 2, 3 of Her Majesty's Code Conduct for prisons. All rights for dynasty pay and other financial benefits are revoked. Reason for dismiss: aiding and abetting the escape from prison of convict just prior to his execution. Details of the escape still being investigated. Full cooperations and with inquiries will be expected. Wait. Additional notes. Indications are that the jailbreak plot was convenient prior to the convict's incarceration. It's believed that the convict engaged in some form of negotiation with the prison staff in order to secure assistance. Full disclosure of information regarding these negotiations will be demanded. Wow! Yes, I agree. We need to report back to Mr. Solomon of what we found so far. Why will they tell Mr. Virgil, I wonder? Back here. Oh boy. First of November. This is so sweet. We're back. Hello, you two. I thought you'd be back before long. I baked you some scones. Oh, that's what's the delicious smell. I'm sorry. Wow. What is it now? A blue hair group? I'm sorry. Is this gonna be a performing team? Oh. You returned a good deal sooner. I what does that mean? Hello, Mr. Jones. Your blue hair. Hello, Mr. Oh. I noticed it too. Say nothing. Your dots are written all over her face in any case. It turns out I haven't little test my hair color tone back before application. Oh my. Your voice straight tail. Wonderful front. What a wonderful government. Oh, yes. Something very surprising back. Though it's not past your hair. It's not a patch on your hair, to be honest. It's mostly, isn't it? But still, we discovered it. Sholmes! Oh boy. Drop the fellow Sholmes. This is very much important. Sheena. I can't believe it. What happened? Clearly a great matter indeed. Mr. Lestrade made no mention of my hair whatsoever. It's the boss. Do you mean to say it is Grace? The boss is he's dead. Whoa! Hello? What? They found his body shot with a pistol. What? Oh, wow. But Inspector Gregson, he was murdered. No, not Gregsy. Come on, girl. Tell us the whole story. Talk to her. Inspector's death. Are you serious, Gina? Professor Grayson was really shot? I don't know much about what happened myself yet. They're investigating the scene. Where did this take place? A little rented room built it full of flats and Fenso Street. The outskirts of town, nowhere near his home. He was perhaps investigating a case then. That thing is, no one at the yard know nothing about no case around there. Oh, how strange. The boss was good to me. I ain't nothing much yet. No, yet. Not too much yet, but one day I'm gonna show him I did become a proper detective. Oh, Jeannie. Culprit. Who did this? How could anyone? They got him already. Already? They caught the shooter already? A witness reported something was going on, and the boys got straight there and took care of him. Ooh. I still can't believe it myself. Gina. It was the Reaper. Oh! Brock! No, wait a minute. You don't mean they arrested Ron Sykes for it? That's why that Reaper broke gone. It's shot. Oh, Ron Sykes. Wow, that happened? Are you quite sure, Miss Lestrade? Is Barack von Zeiss police have arrested? I saw him with my own eyes in the interview room in the yard. I don't believe it. But there were witnesses, and they're saying it was him. So you mean there were actual multiple witnesses? I heard a gunshot, and apparently, when our lot was seen, there was only one, the boss and the Reaper bloke in that room. But there's no way Lord Osiris would have taken Gregson's life. I just don't believe it. I don't believe it either. Wow. Thank you for informing us, Miss Lestrade. I have us about terrible news. It's dreadful. I'm dreadfully sorry. What are you saying sorry for? You did nothing. Oh, anyway, I'm taking a cab over to see right now. Please come home as soon as you can. You need help? You ought to help. Oh. It's a detective a lot of here to whenever a sinister plot unfolds. Just wonder we Haggard. Look, Haggard. Sometimes these things are almost too much for the nerves. Mr. Sholmes. What use is there of being a great detective if I fail to see something like this coming? How could this happen to Gregson? Mr. Naruto, I shall leave at once to begin my mission. Of course, yes, we will too. I want to be helpful. If you could talk to the Reaper to see what you can do. I'm sure you were intended to do so anyway. Until later then. It's dead. Not for sakes, it's around. No, Susie. I called you handsome with answers she showed. Yes. Let's head to the prison first. First, talk to Mr. Von Sykes. Oh boy. Someone. There he is, on Von Sykes behind bars. So it's true, he really was arrested. He's sitting there with his back to the wall, reading something. I don't think he's noticed it. Von Sykes. Oh boy. Fancy meeting you here. The last place on earth I'd like to be, but the last person on earth I'd like to see. It couldn't very well. Oh, come. Not come. We heard what happened. Dang it. You can inspect the race war? Go home. This has nothing to do with you. But forgive me, our sakes. But I must disagree. My inspector racing was very helpful on numerous occasions. We're indebted to him, at the very least. We owe it to him to find the truth about his death. Let's our investigation, please. There's only I can tell you. Or you're just reading the back of the cell. Was it something related to the case? This. The yard isn't quite caviar with this information as to the case details with the suspect. This is a letter from an old acquaintance. Oh, who might it be? Someone you know, as it happens. Albert Herring. Of course, yes, you keep forgetting that it went to the same universe. And I would like to read my copy, so let's get over with, shall we? What do you want to know? I mean, let's face it, Larva 6 never admits this, isn't it? But there seems to have been less bite than somehow. What happened? Can you at least tell us on your side of the story, Long Zykes? What happened? How much do you already know? We all know that Inspector Racing was shot dead in a small rented room in Francis Street. We were down there in a place of immediately. We already told no one else was in the room when then you were well informed. There were really nothing I can add. The truth is, I don't know what happened myself. But a gunshot. Obviously you didn't fire the gun, did you? I'm not in the habit of shooting people I work alongside with. I also heard noise, however. Before I had a chance to investigate, I was apprehended by a arriving officer. So that he doesn't actually know what happened. I asked, what were you doing in that place to begin with? I don't need to answer that. Oh. After all, you are not representing me. He's not going to need a lawyer. He's going to need a lawyer, though. Oh. For the fence. Who's going to be representing you in court in your weeks? Anyone other than you, I should imagine. Would you rewrite this to me that you have no representation yet? The defense lawyer shall stay away from involving the Reaper, I'm sure you know, but this is different. In my career, all defendants I have prosecuted, only 19 have ever been acquitted. Of them, 16 subsequently died of mysterious circumstances. Questions will be asked now. Surely not. I assure you, no defense lawyer will want to touch me in the end of the bargain pole. But you don't actually have anything to do with those people, that did you? It's been 10 years now that I've been known as Reaper the Bailey. Believe me, nobody wants to know the true identity of the killer more than I. However, it seems that things may come to a head before I have any chance to cover the truth about that. What does he mean by that? Was supposed to go straight back to Germany, I thought. It's a letter informing that he's safe at arrival in his passage and well. It's a relief, I must say. He should be beyond the reaches of the Reaper. Because if the Reaper doesn't follow anyone abroad. Yes, so it seems. I'm not gonna say that. I am not gonna say that. He told me he was keeping well in Japan when I inquired the other day. Yes, that's right. He's an author now, happily working in Tokyo. So the Professor Irvine is safely back in Germany now. He is. Oh boy, here we go. Sykes. So it appears our conversation has gone dry. There's 2 seconds silence, that's all. Well, in any event, if you excuse me now, I wouldn't like to detain you. I was wondering, Lord Sykes, if you like, I'd be happy to advocate for you. Trust me, do you? Yes. I've heard you speak many times in court. I've seen how you treat people, so I'm quite sure that you would never have taken another's life. It's just, my feelings can't use as evidence. It's a very gracious offer, however, I trust no one. What? Not the police, not the judiciary, and not... Please. I have no intention of engaging your service. The chasm between us is wide, deep, it seems. I'd appreciate it if you don't visit again. Neither of us want to waste any more time. A little deeper. And find out more about Lombard Sykes and what happened to his factories. Oh boy. No time, really? This is really out of the way part of London. I doubt many people will find their way to the back streets. So the dust ridden right to the old room is where it happened in. So this is where the poor Inspector Grayson lost his life. Yes, and the police is already hard at work investigating the scene. I don't see Mr. Sholmes anywhere, though. Outside investigations have taken him elsewhere. Oh, what do you think you're doing there? Every one of them drawers out of you, taken right out. See if you're I went to Space Above and selling and checked that. Don't forget to look in the client's stack too. I mean, ain't gotten the nut or gotten 1 ounce of looking through when owners are out of town. Yes, I really got some unique investigative techniques. She's very wanting. Oh, you turned out well last. Mind if I don't read? Hello again, Gina. Sholmes as only just left. You're very lucky you missed that. Ain't prancing around. Fancy ain't went prancing around, pointing at stuff like flicking off of the scratch. He's finished investigating already, you mean? Yeah. It didn't stop nothing. No one knowing me. Yeah, we might be investigating. Listen, Otto. You're a lawyer, right? Yeah, yes. Why? Oh, you're not thinking I'm trying to. Oh, Fardina. She's never gonna forget this, is she? That's for all to haunt her forever. Hina, if you don't mind me saying, Laura Zeke really is responsible for this crime? You would duly be your. I suppose you're right. Yeah. Oh my god. I want to know the truth about what really happened here. Thank you, Dina. Mr. Gregson. Dina, what Inspector Gregson doing here in the first place? That's what I want to know. It's what all your since I got out of the clink. Then I decided to give up diving and become a detective instead. Yes, Jones twisted the inspector's arms to agree to take you as an apprentice in here. Something like that. Anyway, the point is, I didn't really know much about the boss until then. But out, he's a bit of a legend at the Lord. Goodness, really? They think he managed to solve some really tricky cases like that. Eddie. Yep, and ever since then, started going out of sorts of investigations, but always on his own. No one else at the yard even knows what cases he's worked on, apparently. That's not how it's supposed to work, is it? That's what the legendary. So what was the inspector doing in this stinky room in the first like this? I know Ed had a lot of respect for the Reaper, but ain't nowhere looking landing him. Respect for the Reaper. In what way? I heard something as much. Taking a lot of the fella, words. Not a very public feel, is it? Most people are terrified of the Reaper. Yeah, the boss has said that exactly why he expected the blow. I didn't realize Gregson held the Reaper in quite such high regards. They have said nothing to me at all. That I didn't need to worry about the Reaper, because only he goes after people who are bad. I did kind of set my mind at ease when he said that. Right. The crime scene. What is this place then? Does anybody know live here? Apparently it's been rented out by some bloke called Hugh Bone. Called Hugh Bone. Hugh Boone. Hugh Boneham. It's sort of it's a sort of here today, gone tomorrow named as. Isn't that it? Yeah. What we call an unidentified person. We haven't been able to get back in touch with them. I see. Well, judging from the room's appearance, I say this place hasn't been lived in for quite some time even. Right, all the lads from the yard pulled down and get stuck into the investigation. But there's so little here, no one knew what with themselves. I did wonder. Yes, Mr. Zada. Well, it could be that he is a fact Inspector Grayson himself. What? How could that be? Well, maybe if we investigated on his own. It's quite possible that this was a fact, some kind of secret office space. I never considered that. I swear, Susie, we've actually fallen the line of the inquiry like that ourselves. You are? If you look around now, you see there's a few things that hint it. We should really investigate this place in detail. The incident. That I see that's where the poor inspector was found over here. Yeah, that's right. It said it's a single bullet what did him. Apparently the bullet went through him and struck the candle tree in there, tree on the wall. Oh yes, it had blown the candle apart completely. And the gun used there on the door, on the floor, is the Reapers in it. No, denying it. What? Really? What do you mean? How do you know that? Take it easy. I don't know what web myself, but staring at a web with big eyes. Nice. I'm only saying that I've heard. I don't know much about guns myself, but there are some big with long ones, or whatever said. So why are you asking? A big or long one, is it? Anyway, Fresno Street runs alongside under the window there. Oh, there were street sellers outside who heard the gunshot. Oh, but I don't recall seeing anybody outside. Yeah, they all been taken down to the yard for questioning, that's why. We're talking about the yard's legendary inspector. After all, they're getting a grilling. Do you think they might be able to speak with us, ourselves? I doubt it. The lads at the Silent Yard just want to know what you're scooping and for you'll be grilling at. Oh, I can't, so we can't interview the witnesses. Shame. Let's get some investigating. Oh, it's a photograph stand. I suppose there's a picture of the Spectre, Grayson's family. Ah. What's the matter? Your eyes look like they're about to pop out of their head. They are... Look, Mr. Nardo, quickly. I feel I've seen this woman's familiar. Oh! Of course she's familiar. We met her just only this morning. Ah, it's Miss Virgil. This makes no sense. Why would there be Virgil in here? To be frank, I don't think I've ever seen myself stump or stump. I'm so sorry to say, but I have no idea either. Let's look at that photo. Oh, never mind it. This looks like some sort of notice board or something. And it's absolutely covered in scrap paper. Ah, that's another look. This, you mean, is an autopsy report, isn't it? And there are cases here, case notes here about detailed present. Yes, in fact, they're all sort of documents. Only a detective could imagine normally like fire. Went on in this room. And some old. Ah, there's one here. I guess to the red-headed lead. What? Why? Why is there doing here? However, a copyright in this room is clearly interested in some reason. Hold on. Oh yeah, this business. Yep, Inspector Lestrade. Soon ad found on buttoned up. I thought it was Holmes who led this pair to the trap, wasn't it? Listen, Otto. It ain't easy go. He sent Diamond to Scotland Yard detective, right? But anyway, part of the charm in it being looks wife, truth helps. That's wrong to say for many reasons. Maybe I should get Iris to write a story about me. Any event. Alright, good. fireplace makes me feel even colder than it would be otherwise. Its thick dust look. To think it would be fairer to say it hasn't been used in a very long time. In other words, whoever lived in this room must have been extremely hardy cold, and or nobody lived here at all. It merely rose. It wouldn't say that there's more likely. No, that's right. In other words, on top of the candle holder, there is clearly going on. Yes, the wax splattered right on the lock. Look, suppose a bullet had hit it. It doesn't seem likely that the bullet hit the candle, having passed through the inspector's body. Now that the wax are on it, looks like blood to me. Hello? There's some black marks here, look. Yes, they look like some sort of scorch marks. Perhaps the bullet struck the candle here, do you think? The only way the candle would be struck would crack out, it seems. Yes, I think you might be right. Firearms are barely used by criminals in Japan, so I'm afraid I'm not particularly knowledgeable about that. Hoping to find something new. Ever since we came here, I can't help anyone else to this thing. Oh, funny enough, I can't either. It's a hairpiece, isn't it? It is, isn't it? A bright red headpiece. I suppose the fact that it's right next to where the body was found. It means we have to accept that Inspector Weston wore a wig, does it? And such a frame color too. That's the color we've come across recently elsewhere, isn't it? Exactly. This is the vital clue I'm concerned. I always wonder what happened, what the underside of the hairpiece looked like. That doesn't surprise me at all, Mr. Naruto. It always was something like that. I'm not sure quite how to put it. You must put on a large head. It doesn't get blown off at the gust of wind. That might be an ingredient when you wanted to take it off again. This is presumably the murder weapon. Oh my, it's real purpose, I suppose. I think so. Guns are rare in Japan. I rarely knew about them. Though one of them, sure, Mr. Naruto. Oh no. If I did that, I'd be looking for a skilled lawyer to represent me in court. Slightly safer just after someone I know I might think. Let's look at this. I suppose this must be the murder weapon. Oh wow. Is it real? I suppose. I think so. Guns are rare. I think I have someone more famous. Oh, what's this? This appears to be a little model policeman. It's rather charming, isn't it? Anyway, seeing as there's a floor here, do you think it belongs to the decoration? A little hard to imagine Larva Zeke's playing with this length like this. It's only 8 centimeters tall. It could have been fallen off someone's pocket. Other show records as a device, just in case. Yes, I agree. It's rather delightful after all. Check that too. Now the charm movement appears to be less worse than the wear. It's obvious, like I said, it's charming, but yes, you're right. The head part looks to be fairly heavy handled. It's almost impossible enjoying twisting around and fun. Shall we twist it around to see around too? Ah! What is this? It appears to be some sort of key. It's a tiny thing, though it could be a key for the door. Not at all, not. So what's it for, I wonder? Excuse me. If you're looking down as far as the break beyond, the spectre breaks where you are. Excuse me. Sorry. Can't see a thing. Too many tears in my grasp it. Anything else to look around? Check over here. Somebody half-heartedly nailed the boards over the broken glass, haven't they? You couldn't even call it a window anymore. Well, if you remember the window missing off some zone, that was a totally blacked out trick. This one's at least still, you could say nothing more about it. I'm starting to feel even more sorry when I'm sending it out. Talk to her. I think we're supposed to talk to her. Is there anything else we have to look at? So I suppose this is where the victim. Right, that's right. The rope right around the body shows exactly how it was found. Horseback race himself has already been taken anyway. It would probably be under Dr. Side's scalpel by now, or what happened last week. From the shape of the rope, it would appear that the inspector was curled up in the ball. Are you feeling alright, Mr. Nono? You're lucky you just seen a ghost. I know it's just a robot. Well, confidence of quite a terrifying image, that's all. Especially with the blood stain next to it. Oh, I do understand. Some way, we picture in our minds can be even worse than the reality. Zhan's son is so strong, though. She's taking, and it's far better than I am. Time. I took the express train back to London. Cosma. I hear a long songbird. Can you? Yes, it sounds as though he's talking to someone. Cosma. Is everything in place? I had a private compartment on the train, so I should check all the paperwork. It's Cosma-san. Ah, your time is back. It is, isn't it? I know you heard about the stricken news about the Reaper's latest delivery. Yes. I'm sure you don't believe in the course of Lord Songbird. That Lord von Zykes could have done such a thing until the effect breaks in. I believe only in the facts. On the facts of the case pointed to one thing. The unavoidable arousal of accusal of Lord Zykes for this crime. I must bring charges against Reaper for taking the life of legendary. Oh no, certainly not. It's truly a regrettable situation. Tomorrow, the forensic science said the nauseum finally begun. And at the very least, though, we can show the world our justice system swiftly. So that means that the trial's tomorrow. Precisely. In fact, this is a fine opportunity for introductions. Cosma. Well, of course. You're already acquainted, aren't you? The society will be representing at tomorrow's proceedings. Leading prosecution. Wait, what? Cosmo? I'm sure you're aware, he's a very capable practitioner of law. Cosmo's son, the prosecutor. Trial. I'm sure you can imagine tomorrow's trial will be closely followed all over London. In fact, no, people over the Empire will be watching closely, see how it will unfold. There's no salvation for anybody who's trial prosecuted by the Reaper, really. Now, the Reaper himself must stand in the dock. Quite so. The public wants answers about the Reaper. Answers about why those who escape conviction die mysterious deaths. The Lord Zykes firmly denies the involvement in such matters. And there have been thorough investigation, and the proving him innocent to be innocent. That's certainly true. Or has been, at least, until now. No, tomorrow's trial will mark the start of a new chapter in our country's judicial system. Asadi. Asma will be prosecuting tomorrow. That's right. But these defense lawyers work. A accomplished young lawyer prosecuting cannot pick their chosen roles. I imagine what it would mean for the prosecution to know the strategies commonly employed by the defense. A devastating combination, what do you think? Would you agree? Absolutely. I have no doubt at all, because I'm will be a razor sharp as prosecutor. But why use homicide? There is certainly no highly skilled prosecutor in the resume. It's a personal request. I asked to be assigned to this job. You were asked to do this, but why? It'll become clear tomorrow. I'm guessing you intend to stand for the defense, don't you? Although, Reaper appears to be turning down all offers for representation. I'm surprised such a personal request would have been upheld. It seems unprecedented, quite exceptional. You are quite right, Mr. Makadava. Tomorrow's trial will be unprecedented and exceptional in another way. After all, the accused of the greatest prosecutor is a rising empire. It would be unwise to give the public reason to perceive the jurisdictional closing ranks. So that's why you're happy to let a foreigner handle the prosecution. Let's see how your skills have been honed after practicing law in this land for once. That's all. I don't understand why you're being hostile to one. This is going to end well. Well, my friend. Killer's gun. Oh yes, we noticed that there was a gun at the scene of the quick. Do you know anything that belongs to our cities? Have you questioned the lead detective investigation with? Now the thing is, she wasn't sure. She told me you should ask someone higher up who might know. That's right, Mr. Naruto. Don't have to be direct. It's certainly a model issued by all personnel involved in law enforcement, yes. Which includes prosecutors. I'm sure you can imagine. In that case, it belongs to the victim? No, Grayson had his gun on his person. So how long was that? He claims to currently not in this possession. But according to his story, he lost. In short, there's more than suspicion. Is it the same type as the defense proof, not as actually as it is? No, of course not. Nevertheless, the situation is grave for long as I. Oh, never mind then. Cosmo. I'm sorry for all the worry I've caused you, but it'll be alright now. Have your memory completely returned? Yes, completely. I remember everything, including what I was coming here to do. Right. Cosmo son, I can't tell you how happy I am to see you alive and well like this. But how did you come to be here in London when you were suffering amnesia? It was the voice. The past year. I've been hearing in my head constantly saying that the same thing over and over. Go to London, that's where your destiny awaits. It was that voice that guided me here to London. I'm so sorry for what's happened. Anyway, my memory may have returned to me, but there's something that won't return to the way it was before. Huh? What do you mean? The prosecution. I'm a prosecutor now, so our paths will cross very soon. It doesn't look like we're going to glean anymore here. Oh, thank you very much, Lord Sweetheart. Remember, tomorrow's trial will go down in the Empire's history. There's much you can learn from the public gallery. Sorry to have to taken up so much of your time. We'll see ourselves out.
Hold it!
Before you go, bring your whiskey. Oh, what is it? It goes on. I just wanted to thank you. It goes on with something. What? You took my determination to heart and brought it with you over to see my stead. And you carried out my role to perfection. You always attended to study British law in order to change our jurisdiction under our justice system. It was your dream, and Mr. Nato didn't want to die with you. Yes, but I had another purpose for coming here. Oh? I actually have a favor to ask, which is probably part of this game. I'd like you to be here, however, be there to see how it ends. As a defense counsel. Why is this all about? I know what it takes. We have what it takes. But Lord Sykes would never put his faith in my hands. On the contrary, he recognizes your talent. He does? It's not easy to see behind that facade sometimes. Here, have a look at this. Oh! That's Lord Sykes and Inspector Gregson. In a photograph that must have been taken some time ago of her. And who's his brother, is it? It was displayed prominently in the detective's office. In Gregson's office, you mean? Yes, I'm trying to say is, if you really think you can trust the Reaper, you might find that some straight talk to him in a few different views. Take that. I don't understand. Why are you giving me this? Just hurry when you escape. Visiting hours in the prison are almost over. Why are you doing this, Kazama? Head back here. Sorry for taking long earlier. This probably would have been, first part would have been over a little more shorter. I was like, still remaining on his letter. Oh, we've been doing quite some time, Drew. Either he's incredibly slow reader, or it's a incredibly long letter. Or it's been oh boy. I was intending to ignore you entirely. But I can't turn a deaf ear. Oh. Didn't you hear that? I had the case notes brought to me in secret. I was reading them the past time. Yes, we heard that your trial is set for tomorrow. Which is none of your business. So, have you found how many times I must relate write the same thing? It is nothing. Words now. We were just talking about and the prosecutor for your trial. That's nothing less, though I have no idea who it is. It's gonna be Cosmo. It's like that made the color drain from his face. Well then, it seems I'm going to have to engage in conversation with you again after all. We came by this old photograph. Oh, where did you get that? It was taken when I became a qualified prosecutor. It's almost unbelievable. I assume it was a long lost. This man on the left there. Yes, that's my brother, Clint. Wow. It's hard to believe, really. Apparently, this picture was prominently displayed in Gregson's office. He had a deep respect for you, you know. You were aware of that? Respect? That's nonsense. No, we've heard something attest to this clearly, especially in your dress right now. Yes. Well, maybe once, yes, we were at times like that. We were brothers in arms, probably discussing the future of justice in the slightly solid matter. That was a nice glimpse of the past. Thank you. I feel as though I got a nice glimpse of the past then too. To the glimmer of light in his eyes, a brief twinkle, and instantly the true nature of the man known as well as the Stone Cold Reaper of the Bailiff. What's this? Not much for trying to talk. Find that out. Years ago, my older brother was the director of the prosecution. What at the time was murder, and then the killer was, was a visiting student from the Far East. A single day goes by when I don't curse the name Wasagi. Grandson Asagi was Kazuma's father. So what cruel twist of fate is it now than 10 years later? My son's crucifying me for his unfamiliar report. I still don't understand why Lord Strongheart apprenticed Kazuma to you. Is what he does. No doubt he knew the young man's true identity from the outset. But what could have been hoping to achieve? Let's not forget that it was only 8 days ago that Kazuma recovered from his amnesia. Why would Long Strongheart decide this trial to someone like that? Hasagi. That name is very in the tone of my vein. If I know, I'm not gonna say that. It's only been appointed as a when it happened 10 years ago. Our brother Clint, the director of the prosecution, was hunted down by a master Kazuma, so-called professor. After the investigation was his partner. A certain investigating student from Scotland Yard, and that was Gensen Asagi. Exactly. I developed a respect for the man. He seemed noble-minded and chivalrously extreme in the extremity. But none of us told the truth. So everything when it happened. My esteemed brother, the people I believe in. Any resemblance of right or prevalence over wrong. Oh, how awful. To match my brother, I prosecuted Miyazaki's trial. It would ordinarily have been allowed, but I begrudgingly ascribed the prosecutor to come until he consented. What do you mean by ascribed prosecutor? The man in charge of the prosecution, Lord. Oh! He was the prosecutor in charge. Wow! Wait, what? Lord Strongheart. He was highly accomplished prosecutor, but he agreed to relinquish the trial to me and act as my advisor instead. Since that time, he's the only person whom I've ever felt indebted. I'm sure he must have seen your zeal from that case. On the case, you recognize your potential as a prosecutor. Anyway, time passed, but I learned this year who arrived on the London, but you. Oh, and a lawyer. I feel that I'm honestly the first time I first ever met you in the courtroom. You're obviously deep loathing for us Japanese. I kept telling myself it was all illogical. But for so many years, the hatred for us inside me, I could no longer control it. And I can understand why. I know the history. But in time, I felt, and like I said that, The Reaper who sent the and intends to take it in the court. So Greggson's transfer to Paris Refugate had finally been arranged for the coming month, but he'll never make it to France now. It's a tragedy. Oh yes, come to think of it, he did mention something about that, didn't he? I wonder, does it happen often, being transferred internationally? I mean, it's the first time I've ever encountered it. Oh, Paris police welcoming an English detective is almost inconceivable. I can't imagine what kind of magic Gregson must have worked to put that arrangement in place. It sounds as something mysterious as even happened to Miss Butterflies. I'm afraid to say that we're very ignorant about the rest of Gregson's standing. We've heard that he was considered something of a legend in Scotland Yard. Again, it was 10 years ago that he first made the name for himself by uncovering decisive pieces of evidence that exposed the professor's identity. If it wasn't for Gregson's singular approach to the case, the discovery would not have been made. What sort of approach? After my brother's life had been taken, Inspector pushed for a full autopsy. Oh my, 10 years ago. Why is that so funny? Autopsy was considered described as of the body at the time is rarely performed, and my brother was, of course, a noble. That made the idea even more unthinkable. But something Grayson had dug up in this investigation made him determine what it was necessary. His powerful conviction and somehow influenced the House of Lords, and as a result, I could avenge my brother's death. So, you're right. You must have had a great confidence in Inspector Gregson's ability. Even if it's inconceivable that would have taken his life. Inspector Gregson. Your gun. Not the gun they used to shoot found at the crime scene. Ah, yes. That's not mine. Really? Because common opinion seems to be thinking that it is. Oh, you didn't expect me to say that. Strongheart informed us that you claim that you misplaced your firearm. As embarrassing as it is, I'm afraid it's true. When did you lose it then? I don't know. Oh. I was issued with the revolver when I first became the prosecutor 10 years ago. I must have stolen it somewhere, I suppose, or left it somewhere, perhaps. So you may have something in common with Lawrence of mistakes, after all, Mr. Nardo. A talent for misplacing things. No, nothing to do with me. Don't knock me into it. Don't make the mistake of associating. Oh dear, never happened to me. Oh, this is nice. Not decisive evidence, clearly, but it clearly looks good for sure. Mr. Nardo. Oh? That's the first time he's ever used our next. I lost all confidence in my country's court system. I don't trust the police or lawyers, but there's still one thing I'm willing to believe in. What's that? The which you see the eye of another across the courtroom. A simple determination to know the truth. Lord von Zykes. From the very moment we clashed in the barely almost a year ago now, I couldn't deny it. I clearly dearly wish I could. That he has absolute integrity as a lawyer. I'm not gonna say that word. There are only two men I've known the same look in their eyes. My brother, Clint, and Genson Asagi. The man idolized Ace, and a man who betrayed his trust in the most hideous way. Whenever you showed me that photograph just now, it reminded me. You mean this photograph? Back when I was able to laugh, I was free from the shackles of the mistrust that plagued on me now. I look for the future with hope. Since then, I protected myself against the betrayal to refuse to trust anyone. At the time, the mire into which I've sunk makes it almost impossible to compete. I'm sorry, so sorry. So, Mr. Nardo, I want to believe in that you, in your eyes, I need to believe in it. In tomorrow's trial, you will advocate for me. Of course, I will. It's a big honor. I'm so pleased, Mr. Nardo. And my life's in your hands. For long von Zeiss, that must have been an incredibly hard thing to ask, which is why I simply cannot let the man down. Tomorrow's is in the Old Bailey against my old friend Guzma. Alright, I'll call it a stream. We'll call it a stream. We'll continue either tomorrow or Friday. If I do it tomorrow, it may be a muted stream. Just an FYI. We do got a lot of renovations going on at my house. About to be happening, especially with the moving and all that. But with that said, I'm Noel 3. I'll catch you guys next time. We're gonna start off the trial next time.